Oh, we're live.
Are you serious? We're live?
I'm deadly serious.
You're deadly serious. Well, then this week, the watch you wear, get rid of it, because Apple smartwatches will be the in thing this time next year. In no way are they a solution looking for a problem. An attempt to sell something smaller than an iPhone, they already tried going bigger one step, and no one is sure they want a bigger iPad. And by no means is size apparently Apple's only remaining innovation. In no way at all. Also, that uncrackable password you think you have? So 2012. Change it to something stronger. And while you're at it, get rid of Internet Explorer, the dedicated box you use for Netflix, and that sense of control you have over your online persona. Oh, and that landline? Don't get me started about that landline. Gone. My name's Justin Pott. I'm in Boulder, Colorado, and you're listening to a special Get Rid of It edition of Technophilia. Keep doing that. With me today from the UK, as always, is Mr. James Bruce. How you doing, James?
I'm good. Can I suggest we get rid of Dave, then?
Get rid of Dave?
Get rid of Dave, since we're
That's potentially an option, yeah. Also with me, speaking of, from Connecticut is Dave LeClaire.
I just got a stupid smartwatch sent in the mail, a Samsung Galaxy Gear.
Oh, they had a terrible review of that
I'm so sorry
online.
for you.
I haven't taken it out of the box yet because I got to take pictures of it. So it's
Are you actually reviewing it, or just someone?
Yeah, because I also got the Samsung Galaxy Note 10.1 2014 edition, so they work hand in hand like two little stupid peas in a shitty pod.
The review I read said that they made a smartwatch and forgot to make it do things.
They made a smartwatch and forgot to make it smart.
Like, Android's on it.
The box and it's like, durr, I'm a dumb
if you get a text, it says incoming text message. Please check your phone. It's like really dumb, not useful at all.
Well, I can't wait to review that piece of shit then.
Anyways, also with me, moving east from the UK to Connecticut and now to Pennsylvania, it's longtime listener, first-time guest, Alex Mayer. How's it going, Alex?
It's going great. Glad to be here.
Hey, you're actually here. We were a little unsure, so there's no video for Alex. But
we were having issues with his
the
ugly
supposedly T1 lines are outdated, so
yeah,
I got
you're just
slow
learning
internet.
this. Before the show, Alex is saying, like, oh, we've got T1 lines. It should be fine. And James is like, they still have those. I didn't know
I
either.
tested a set
I
at
don't
my
know.
house, and I have 6 megs down and like half a meg up or something like that, and it worked way
Yeah.
better, even with video.
Damn, you got
What you
some
don't
slow-ass
have-
internet, son.
Is coworkers BitTorrenting the wire. You don't have that at home. You do have it at work. So you should find who is doing that and report them.
There's
to
way
the
more
authorities.
traffic here.
Yep. Anyways, I guess we should move on to the show then. This week's show is brought to you by Bitdefender's Clueful for iOS, the world's first and only way to really understand how iOS apps treat users' privacy. Installed apps are easy to analyze for understanding of their privacy-associated concerns that may affect you. Again, Bitdefender, longtime supporter of the show, so if you like listening to Technophilia, it'd be a favor if you were to check them out. Look into it. Thanks, everyone. Should we move on to the news then, gentlemen?
The nudes? Yeah.
The nudes. No, the news.
What?
Got some audio nudes for you today. No.
This is my nipple.
Alex, get naked.
That is exactly the sort of comment Google might put beside an advertisement. This is my nipple. Apparently, Google is going the way of Facebook, and if you publicly acknowledge that you like something on their social network, they will say that that's an endorsement and put your name next to paid advertisements for said product. I mean, again, Facebook's been doing this for a while. It's not really news on that front, but Google does say they're not going to be evil, so we hold them to a higher standard. James, should we?
Wait, the difference is that Facebook does it without a security setting, and they do it for, like, dead cousins.
Yeah.
There is a big difference there.
That's true. That's true.
Straight.
So what Google's doing isn't as bad as
Yeah,
Facebook.
I turned mine off already, and I'm not really sure what they're all fussing about. It's not like Google did it silently without a setting or anything. They put a huge, great banner across the top of your browser that says, "We've updated stuff. You really ought to read this."
It's almost, from what you're saying, as though we have a click-driven tech blogosphere that desperately wants to sensationalize stories in order to get as many hits as possible. But I know that can't.
Yeah. The only reason I took issue with it and why I disabled it was because, as I understand it, as I read it, if you comment on something, that counts as an endorsement. Now, look, I'm all happy to +1 something. That's a public announcement that I'm +1ing you, I support you, I endorse this product. That's cool, right? But what if I comment, this product sucks ass? And then that gets counted as an endorsement. That's why I turned it off.
I would hope the algorithm will know better than that.
You would hope.
I actually read through this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I actually read through this, and from what I understand is they'll show your comment next to your picture. It won't just say, like, James loves this product. It'll say, like, James said this about the product. Because I saw it. Every web browser I use Chrome everywhere. And every time I logged into my Google universe, it just showed, hey, we have a new privacy policy. So I clicked read, and then I read some of it. And every computer I signed in on after that, it said the exact same thing. Hey, we've updated our privacy policy. So like James said, it's not like they're trying to hide this. It's definitely out there that it's happening.
Am I right in thinking this?
But I believe they'll put your comment beside it.
For advertisers and things? Or is it just for anything on the internet now? Because I know when you log in, you already get like results customized. Like I'll get make use of +1 to this, so that's my top result now. But is the change just that it's going to be used for everyone, or that it's now being used for advertisers or something? I don't really.
I think now it's for paid advertisement as opposed to quote unquote organic search results.
So I can't imagine they would put my comment underneath a paid advert saying James says this sucks.
Why not? Facebook does that. Well, the way Facebook does it is like if Coke pays for an ad, it'll say like James Bruce likes Coke. Link to the page on Facebook, and then what?
So I mean, they wouldn't put like James Bruce dislikes Coke, though, would they? That wouldn't be a very effective paid advertisement.
Maybe this is a future revenue strategy. Pepsi could pay to put your comment about Coke up in front of everyone, and then people would buy Pepsi instead. I don't think they're going to go, but I think negative advertising is the future. I think that's what should happen.
I might just re-enable this then. I don't really see the point. I don't see the problem.
Okay, well, turn it on.
I don't think there's any downside to having it disabled, though. I thought about disabling it, but I was like, well, that's too much work.
Well, I did read something. It's kind of like the Google authorship thing, whereby they might stop putting your face next to your own articles and things like that.
Oh, you think that would be really? So for listeners who don't know, if you search it for an article on the internet and I wrote it, my picture comes up to it and it says by Justin Bott and links to my Google Plus profile. You think turning this off would disable that too?
I think they would take that into account.
Because I definitely want to keep that. I'm very vain. I love the sound of my own voice, which is why this is the only podcast I listen to. But I also really like looking at pictures of myself. So when I'm doing my work and I stumble upon a picture of myself, it really makes me happy. So I don't want that to go away.
Yeah, I don't want to risk messing that up, to be honest.
No.
I did not enable or disable it because I don't use Google Plus, so I don't +1 anything, so I'm okay.
Yeah, me too. I log into Google Plus sometimes. I think my YouTube videos are posted there automatically. Other than that, I don't do much with it. I did post once like, hey, are there humans here who are following me? And a couple of people said, yeah, I love your stuff. And then I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I should post more things here then if there's like real humans here, because there aren't any.
And then you never did.
And then I forgot. Yeah, I just never did.
I should totally post some more things here for all you humans. Oh, wait.
No, I'm just going to keep posting it for the spam bots on Twitter. I have 800 spam bots following me now, and I think 2 humans.
I got like 1,050 spam bots. What?
Yeah, you're really beating me in the spam bot.
I out-spam bot you, bitch.
I'll catch up. Anyways, the chat room is asking for a proper introduction to Alex. This is a very good idea. Alex, longtime technophiliacs will remember Alex way back when we were in like the 20s or something. I can't remember, but he submitted segments about Linux. He's a big open source guy, right, Alex?
When we used to do what you've been using things.
Yeah.
I used to do a lot of what you've been using, and I'd submit that and send it in. You guys would play it. But then after you guys started doing the live show, I mean, I don't know how you'd play an audio clip on a live show, so I stopped sending it, and you guys just kept bugging me like, hey, come on the show. So I'm like, all right, fine.
So now you did it, yeah.
So now I finally did it. I'm actually at work right now, like I said.
You're at work right now. It's like 11:15 where you are.
Yes.
What should you
I'm actually a web developer for an advertising company. What I should be doing is making email blasts or working on websites. I actually have like a ad scrolling TV thing we work on that we put in like grocery stores and stuff. So a computer programmer, anything that deals with websites or computers.
That's awesome. Our listeners are going to love you. They're all AdBlock users.
Most of the websites I work on actually aren't ad block or don't have ads on them. It's like we do mostly like company websites for agriculture companies or grocery stores. So most of them aren't like
Agriculture companies and
advertisers.
grocery stores. See, this is the forgotten part of the web the tech blog sphere doesn't cover. Like, it just doesn't exist as far as we're concerned. But it's very practical and very, very useful, yeah.
But we also have like a large format printing area and stuff, so I do whatever they need me for, mostly computer stuff.
I used to design WordPress sites for little small businesses, and I just like the direct contact with real humans. I miss that, because now I just talk to people like James, who I don't fully consider human, because I've never, I don't know, it's weird, my relationship with James is what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to get across here. Related to the last story about Google+, Michael Bassett said, I take it we don't get a percentage of the advertising revenue for using our image and name, etc. No, I'm pretty sure we don't. I'm pretty sure that's...
You know what? You do get Gmail and all those other free Google services.
Yeah, you're right.
In fairness, you know, if you want to start paying for those, perhaps they'll consider giving you a cut of the advertising too.
Seriously, if Google were to say tomorrow, no more services for free, we're not doing this anymore, what would you pay to use it? Would you, like, switch to Bing? Or, like what would be your... And like, Yahoo Mail?
Wait,
or, like, what would...
Well, didn't Google switched part of their thing to... paying for, wasn't it like the
Google Apps?
there was like a business Google Apps,
Google
was
Apps.
that it?
Yeah,
you can get Gmail on your
free
domain. What it used to be, you would get 50 free accounts. Now it's down to 10, I think, but you still can get a free account, just not as many.
You can get a free account. I think you get like 5, but yeah, you do have to pay for it. So they already switched stuff over to having to pay for it.
It's $50 per user per year. Sorry, I keep cutting you off, Alex. There's some weird timing stuff going on here. $50 per user per year, which is totally reasonable compared to most of their competitors, to be fair. But yeah, they did switch that to a more paid model, and they've been gradually doing that. But the nice thing is, if you had the free account, you've been grandfathered in. So if anyone wants an @justinpot.com email address, I've got like 49.
Give me one. I want one.
I did set up wife@justinpot.com once. I don't think I have that running anymore.
I want to be not Justin Pot at justinpot.com.
I am not at justinpot.com. That could be your email address, Dave.
Yeah.
I would just give you I work for at justinpot.com. That's what I'll give you.
Yeah, that works too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Let's move right along then. Take a shot, everyone. Comic-Con is tweeting so you don't have to. People who signed in to the New York Comic-Con service using their Twitter account apparently didn't read the terms of service that said that they could post tweets to celebrities' accounts, so that's been happening to people. People have been upset. The Comic-Con officials have said, well, this supposed overreach, we're not going to do it anymore. But they never acknowledged that maybe this was a bad thing to do. So read terms of service, people. They can do lots of stuff to your things.
I should say it's very easy to do this. I know when we when we had Giga sign in before, we had the option to automatically post whatever we want to people.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. We had that option. I obviously never I never used it, but I mean we had that. It was just an API call. Once you've given permission, we can do whatever we want, and it gets posted automatically.
I thought I was being sensationalist, but there you have it. Any site you sign up for could, in theory, if you don't read the terms of service, or no, there's like a little security things if it says post tweets on your behalf, but most of us just assume that it'll only do it if we specifically ask it to, right? But yeah, all these services could, in theory, just start sending tweets and saying they're you.
Yeah.
And this is why, if you're active on Twitter and you've used a lot of extensions in the past, go through every once in a while and disable all the plugins you don't use anymore. It's pretty important.
You really need to check your own Facebook stream sometimes. I did that, and sometimes I'll go across and I'll see like hundreds of messages posted on my behalf by some stupid music app or something.
Yeah,
so it's quite annoying.
Oh, what happens sometimes is like the app will be bought out by someone malevolent and then just start doing random shit like this. I had that happen to a client not so long ago.
Wasn't there that service that we mentioned on Make Use of before that would check all of the things that were connected to your account or something?
Yeah.
I'm sure there was something like that. Look it up on Make Use of. There should be a search function.
You're telling me to look it up, like
I'm telling listeners to look it up. Look it up and go check out.
Hey, chat room, you're our assistant. Look it up. Kakashi, get on that.
Kashi has nothing better to do with his time, let's be honest.
Oh, are you kidding? This is the highlight of his week.
I love this comment from Scudderman in the chat room. I don't use AdBlock. I actually sent feedback to YouTube yesterday because ads weren't showing in the PS3 app.
Scudderman is the Technophilia of the week.
That's a good stand-up individual who wants to see the people who make the stuff he likes get paid.
Exactly.
Yeah, good job, man. And it's either that or donate money to us.
Well, you could just go direct if you want. I mean, we don't mind. Should
we have a Bitcoin wallet for Technophilia?
No.
Why don't we have a wallet? Why don't we have a real money wallet instead?
A real money wallet. That is a better idea.
Like a PayPal account.
We could have a voluntary subscription.
Seems far more practical.
Yeah. PayPal?
A pay what you want subscription.
Pay what you want subscription, yeah. And if you don't pay, you still get the show, just like before. I was just saying yesterday, I was a fan, I don't know if Yancey's in the chat room or not, but he texted me, thanks for the free advice in response to something I posted. And I said, free? I'm charging all my Twitter followers at the end of the month. I always do that. That's routine. So read the terms of service, people. Thanks for that, Yancey. That made my day. Moving right along then. So the drinking game, apparently, in the chat room as it's evolving, says, if I say anyways, that counts as taking a shot. And I highly advise this not be added to the Technophilia drinking game, because y'all are going to die. You're not going to survive that. That's dangerous.
Who says y'all?
I just did for some reason.
Yeah, why?
I don't know.
The South?
I have been to the South.
Well, we've all been there. We've all done that.
Yeah.
Except for James.
James
have you ever been to the United States?
I don't think he's been to the Americas.
No, I have an inane fear of dying, getting shot.
Well, go to Canada. It's like U.S. light.
Yeah, I really want to go to Canada, but now I'm just terrified of flying.
But what about the Mounties? They might shoot him.
No, the Mounties are so chill.
Nice.
Yeah.
You don't want to fuck with those Mounties, bro.
You know who else you don't want to mess with is the NSA. But apparently, and who knew this, if you collect every email ever in existence, most of it is spam. So the government's building this massive database, which keeps breaking, by the way, probably because of the sheer weight of the bullshit that it has to carry. I mean, honestly, if you tap email, you're going to get a whole bunch of spam. So I can't say this is altogether surprising. Alex?
Yes?
Are you still there? I'm just checking.
I'm still here.
Making sure you're okay.
Yes. Oh, I thought you wanted me to comment on this, and I'm like, I read all the other articles, just not.
Oh, you
that
didn't read
one.
this one? You're officially a member of this show now because you also have not read the articles. Okay.
Well, I've read all the other articles, just not that one, because I figured you were just going to comment on that and just be like, wow, the NSA sucks.
I love the NSA. Someone's got to spy on me.
Usually it's me.
Absolutely.
I can't be trusted myself.
What
I'm sure
percentage
upstanding
of messages
citizens.
is spam?
What?
In general, what percentage of messages is spam? Because I mean, we so don't notice nowadays, really, do we? Because
I used to think. I used to tell you that I get way more spam than email, but the volume of email I get since then has gone up dramatically, and I think it has exceeded the spam. Like, for example, I made the stupid mistake of not checking my email between 7 and now, and I've got 14 new threads to go through, so that's fun.
When I woke up this morning, I had like 90 emails that weren't
I hate
spam.
it so much. That weren't spam. Yeah, so I'm thinking spam keeps growing, but everyone else's just sheer load of email keeps going up.
Yeah, maybe... I get up, you know, all the Europeans their days have already started by the time I get up. So like 3/4 of Make Use of staff is already up and emailing shit, and I'm still sleeping.
Yeah, I'm
so I get more emails while asleep than I do during my day.
Pro tip: set up a rule to just send all that shit straight to the trash. It is so much simpler.
Oh. Yeah, but what if I don't? What if there's something that pertains to me? Like, what if somebody emails something about gaming or something?
You can specialize the filter so it's like if it mentions me in name or something, then don't trash it.
That seems
Otherwise,
way
just
too
go.
risky for me.
Our resident expert on American culture in the chat room, Kashi, is saying that y'all is a plural of you all you all.
Thanks, Kashi. I'm glad you broke down.
And then he adds, I have never been outside India.
Well, thanks for clarifying that.
We have a spectacular time travel comment from Kashi a little later we'll get to. He is the fourth Technophilia host, really. I don't know what we would do
technically today,
yeah.
he's not. He's the fifth.
He's the fifth. Yeah, that's true. Because Alex is here, and Alex has been listening longer than Kashi. Actually, you're legit.
I've actually been listening since episode 3. I don't remember. I got into podcasting, and I was like, oh, I want to search for all these technology podcasts, and obviously Technophilia was like at the top of the list when you Googled technology podcast because that's tech in the title. But I found you guys on episode 3. I actually back-listened. I did what everybody else did. I back-listened to the previous, or maybe it was episode 4, and I back-listened to the episodes before that, which was only 4. So I forget who it was that listened to like your guys' first 70 podcasts. I probably wouldn't have done that. But listening to the first 3,
like the first 40 or something like that.
Yeah.
He's a beast.
It's amazing if you listen to the first one. It's like the Dave LeClaire show.
The pilot, yeah.
Is it? That's right, because I hosted the first one, didn't I?
You really hosted it. I was like intimidated. I'm like, this guy's pretty good at this. I don't know what
none of you guys had ever done a podcast before, and I had.
No. Yeah.
You guys were just like, yeah, we're going to do a podcast.
Yeah.
You guys were just like, hey, I'm going to do a podcast. We're going to do a podcast. This is what's going to be like. And then it was like Dave talking, and that was pretty much the podcast. And you were like, so if you guys want to listen next week, come back.
That's right.
We weren't
Podcast 101.
In your
I
opinion,
forget if there was even news in the first one.
has it improved?
There must have been news.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you're here today, we're going to bring back a long-running segment that we kind of ditched because we're lazy. What you've been using. So stay tuned for that, Technophiliacs. It's going to be actually worth. Oh yeah, Alex added a bunch of stuff.
Told me.
What?
I'm going to talk about something too there, so I'll actually say something.
There we go.
For the rest of the show, though, I'm going to sit here silently, so shut the fuck up and leave me alone.
What you've been using, Dave will say things. Stay tuned for that.
Moving on.
A mobile app accidentally released fake election results before the voting had even begun. Which country was this, James?
This was in Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan, yeah, which for you don't know is in Central Asia, right?
It's not a real
I
place.
don't know, but they're in the Eurovision Song Contest anyway. They won it a few years ago, I think. Anyway, the official election results app accidentally pushed out the results like a full day before voting had even begun, and it showed this the current president Aliyev as having won 72.76% of the vote, which is kind of on track.
They
previous
faked
election,
results and they didn't
76%.
even bother to make them sound reasonable. They gave them like a Stalin level of approval.
Yeah,
really?
I know, right? At least
Like, you think if you're faking it, you might as well make it like 51.
I
What was it,
imagine
like
the
80%
developer's
anyone, I
career
think they said?
has been cut short along with his neck. The official excuse was that the app had actually released results from back in 2008, though it's clearly rubbish because the results included the names of the current candidates. So
That's a great attempted pivot. Oh yeah, you know, it's from last time.
I think I remember the article said that they tried to play it off like it was a test. They were releasing test results from last year, but it released this year's results, which were already pre-programmed in. So they tried to play it off like one of the tech guys had done a bad test.
So he has, of course, been officially re-elected. Another triumph of democracy, I guess.
When the quote official unquote results came in, were they different from the leaked ones? Did they like just muck up the numbers a little bit?
Yes, they put it back up to like 86%.
Okay.
Just so it's even more clear that this wasn't, you know. Well,
People were so excited to see the fake results that they voted from in even greater numbers. Wow.
Well, I don't want to vote for the loser, so I should just vote for the winner. Why not?
Well, yeah, they said that does affect U.S. politics, right? If the East Coast goes one way, the West Coast is more likely to follow. So that's not completely irrational. So knowing the results in advance, you know what? This could work out. I think this is legit. I think we're all being too hard on them.
I mean, the U.S. could never fake results, right? Right?
I don't think the U.S. government is competent enough to fake election results.
They don't have to fake it.
They would form a committee that would discuss the possibility of faking the results, and it would break down along partisan lines, and they just wouldn't be able to agree as to how to best fake the result. Like, it's like people who say the moon landing's fake. Do you really think the U.S. government, of all organizations, would be able to hide the fact that they faked the moon landing for this long? They're not that good.
On a state level, they could probably fake the results.
On a state level?
That's the thing about your system. You've got states.
Yeah.
You mess it all up.
That's the thing about your system. You have countries under one union, and that messes it all up.
Well, no, because we don't care about the other countries. They're just whatever.
I know you don't in the UK, but you are part of Europe, even though you pretend you're in the middle of the Atlantic.
Well, we might be not be in a few years.
Might not be. That's
That's
true.
because we're gonna take you over, like the old days, but in reverse.
I think the UK should join Canada. We'd be a force to be reckoned with.
I think we should reclaim our territories.
Just
I don't
like
think-
India.
I don't
India,
think you
the
have the
independence
power
thing.
or amount of
JK.
people to do that.
I do. But
Honestly,
anyway.
at this point, I think America should welcome the Queen as a possibility. I think it just seems better than the alternative.
Well, it's better than our current government, which is on vacation.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Are they
Would
still
you guys
on
open the
vacation?
national
I
park?
haven't been
I really
following
wanna
that
come
whole
see
thing very much.
There's nothing to follow. It's just frustrating, and then you swear a lot, and you feel sad. But I've taken up a new habit on Twitter, and I hope Technophiliacs will join me. Just tweet a picture of a sad cat to John Boehner once a day.
John Boehner.
So yesterday I sent him a sad cat, and I said, "Hey, John Boehner, look at this cat and reflect on your own futility."
Who is he?
And I
don't know who
just
that is.
want him to realize. John Boehner's the Speaker of the House. So just send him a sad cat once a day. I don't care what your politics are, but if he let the House vote right now, this would be done. So just send him a picture of a sad cat. Please. I would
If
consider
I
it.
say anyways, do they still get to drink?
No.
Kashi in India is saying, is the U.S. a democracy even? Okay, well, I don't have time to unpack that. Let's move on to Apple, which is hiring a fashion executive to be their VP. Oh, man, I hope this is for a terrible watch. What do you think of this, James? You're our resident Apple expert.
I know it made the share price go up a bit, but other than that, I don't really understand anything that ever goes on at VP kind of levels.
Yeah.
No comment.
Well, the rumor is that they brought in someone with fashion expertise so that they could design a smartwatch that possibly doesn't look hideous. And
Is that really where they're going with things, a smartwatch? I mean, come on, Apple. No one bloody wears watches. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, but if Apple made a smartwatch, people
You
would
think
wear
the world would start wearing watches
a
again?
smartwatch seems like a stupid concept until you think of Siri.
it. Nobody carried around digital music players until Apple made an iPod.
I don't want a smartwatch. I want a Pip-Boy. I want a big bloody great tablet computer on my arm.
Well, nobody else wants that.
I want to have
You want to be like Leela from Futurama with just like a thing on your arm? That you
Yes,
can...
I'll let you
Like a
go
bracer
under my
that is a
skin as well.
computer, yeah.
Yeah, just a giant bracelet. Huh?
I think
Whatever,
Apple's
something-
going
Or
to
a
go
bracer.
with the
Yeah, bracer,
more
yeah.
common option, which is not that.
Yeah, I think they're probably. I mean, if Siri gets good at some point, and if people keep using it, it might. A smartwatch could actually be useful with that kind of voice commands. Like if you could just say.
They fix Siri first, then.
Well, I think they're fixing Siri by gathering data over a long time, and I mean that's why they said it was a beta when they released it. I think the smartwatch is probably what Siri is going to be best at.
I think it'd be pretty
If
cool
you could
if
talk to your watch instead of your phone, it'd be cool.
Yeah, if you could
That's
just
what I'm
be
saying.
like, text mom coming over for dinner, and then
How is it
you
any
don't have to
different
take
to
your
go
phone
like
out of your
this than
pocket.
to pull it out
You
your
have
pocket?
to pull the phone out
You
of
have
your
to pull it out
pocket.
of your
How is the
pocket.
iPad any different than the laptop? It's not. It's just slightly more comfortable to use
It's a
while sitting on a
completely
couch.
different thing.
That-
You don't think
Yeah,
it'd
but
be
ultimately,
more convenient
it's
to not
slightly
have to
more
pull your
comfortable
phone
to
out?
use on your couch. That's why it's sold. That's why people paid $800. And
Save your phone's battery.
yeah, there you go. James reminds
Because
me.
now it'll have to have Bluetooth on all the bloody time to communicate with the watch, won't it? You're not saving anything.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, I have Bluetooth on all the time anyway, so fuck you and your couch.
Oh man.
I don't want
Anyways,
a Bluetooth watch. I
was thinking that this smartwatch just seems like a stupid idea until I thought of Siri, and maybe that'll work. We'll see. For more speculation based on nothing, stay tuned to Technophilia.
You're
James,
right.
If that's all you want, just put a microphone on your collar or something. Don't piss around with a watch. You don't.
Well,
you
that's
don't-
only
No,
one
you-
example of the magical things that it could do, James.
Yeah, it could also tell the time.
that would be pretty fantastic. Phones can't do that.
I do like knowing what time it is.
Really?
Could a smartwatch fix Syria? I think that's what the chat room's asking. Probably not. Probably not.
Siri, well, let's ask her.
Siri, can you fix Syria? Yeah, ask her. I don't have a phone.
I have no love for Apple today, so move along, chat room. You're not going to drink.
You guys don't get to take a shot this time. We are not praising Apple. Sorry. So you don't get that.
Connect to the internet.
Did they change your voice?
I made her Australian.
I was gonna say she sounds British or Australian or something.
Good job, Dave.
I like
You
the
have a
Australian
audience
sounding
today, by
Siri
the way.
better than the American sounding one.
Yeah, I like that. You should.
Do you have to
should keep-
speak funny to it though?
No, it still understands me and my accent. I don't have to.
No,
sound
you have to speak with an
I don't
Australian
have to say
accent.
like, "Good day, mate. You want some Barbie?" And then she goes, "Oh,
Oh,
hey."
you want
Does
some
she
Barbie?
understand you if you do? Say good day, Siri. Go on, ask
I'm
her.
sure
Go on.
she
Siri,
will,
pick
but
the weather,
I
mate.
have no service and my phone won't connect to
Oh.
Wi-Fi for some reason right now, so she won't work.
Oh well, we tried. I bet if someone just asked Siri to fix Siri, it
Oh, there we
probably
go.
would. Oh, okay.
Good day, Siri. She's thinking. Apparently she didn't understand that or something. I don't know.
That's
Siri, why do you
really sad.
suck? You piece of fucking shit. Oh no. She said hi there, Dave Ox. She knows
Scudderman
me.
has a great idea here. Instead of a watch,
Look at this.
Android
It actually says on the screen. It like is that blurry? I can't tell. It says good day, like it put it with like a parentheses because you know it puts
Oh,
what
it
you
did
say.
understand you then. That's good.
Yep. Good.
Magic.
Wait,
Magic.
I'm not reading that one. But Scudderman said out loud, said in the chat room, instead of a watch, Android release a Star Trek style communicator. I would love that. I just tap my chest and it goes like, and then I can just say what I want. That would be way better.
You don't
But I
even
think
use a
Isn't he talking
smartphone.
about a little?
You'd use a communicator.
Yeah. Or is the communicator the one that looks like a cell phone? In which case they kind
Oh
of.
no, isn't that the medical device thing? The medical scanner maybe?
No, that's
The
the
communicator is a thing on your chest. It's like a little pin that's on your chest.
Yeah, it's like the badge. They tap their chest. Well, in Next Generation and later.
You're such a Star Trek nerd. It's
I am. You know what? I don't know if I said this on the show before, but I was never into Star Trek until I met my current wife. So my girlfriend, my current wife, then girlfriend.
Oh, I think I can hear someone there.
Yeah. My roommate and my parents are making fun of me for my wording. Is what you? No, I said my current wife, then girlfriend is what I was gonna say. So I'm into Star Trek because of my girlfriend.
So basically, you're whipped.
No, I just.
She held
the
a gun to
opposite
your
of
head
most
and
nerds.
said,
I
Justin,
got
watch
into
this shitty sci-fi garbage, and you said, "All right, fine."
I loved it.
Lies.
I mean, the original series sucks, but the next gen is pretty good.
Okay, we're not discussing Siri of Star Trek. Siri? What's the?
We
what's the
are.
plural
We're
of
doing
series?
this. Best captain, go, Alex.
What's up?
Best captain.
Someone just asked if I mixed.
I'm actually a Star Wars guy, so
Star Wars
I don't know.
guy.
My mom used to watch Star Trek. That's the only reason I knew that was called a communicator.
Oh, never mind.
Certainly
Never
aren't talking
mind.
about
Sorry.
Star Wars.
I will
But
talk
I'm
to
actually a
myself.
Star Wars guy.
Div
Okay.
Ponce just asked if I'm the guy who masturbates to Siri.
You don't need to repeat that on air, Dave.
Yeah.
I kind of do.
You
There was a
don't,
guy on
you really
Reddit.
don't.
Dave wanted to put this in his Dave P wanted to put this in his column, and we had to politely tell him not to. But yeah, there's a guy who likes to masturbate to Siri. So now you all know this, Technophilia.
That's-
Thanks
Don't
for
really
make me
weird.
Google that. Don't make me Google that.
No, don't
I was gonna
Google
say, that's
it.
just a
Don't.
weird thing
We're
to
moving
think
on.
about.
We are moving on.
I'm
That
gonna Google it now.
Word combination password method is useless now, James. Why?
Oh right, okay, good save from making me Google
Yeah.
that. Right.
Don't Google anything.
So a lot of us are under the illusion, right, that a really long phrase of nonsense words like horse bit my tailgate Las Vegas
Yeah.
somehow a secure password because it's so long that it's uncrackable by brute force, right? So
Mhm.
you wouldn't brute force being where you just try every combination of letter or number just put together into a random list.
Well, it's usually a computer that does it, not a human.
Right, of course,
Yeah.
but it still takes exponentially more time to try and track it. So that's the theory behind why this is uncrackable, right? And that would be true if hackers still used brute force to test every combination of letters, but they don't. That's only one technique. So what they've done now is instead of just having a dictionary attack, which is where you compare every word in the dictionary against a password list,
Mm-hmm.
they will combine dictionaries together and extract phrases from books like the Bible. So they're trying different combinations of every dictionary word, and it turns out that by doing this and using their own clever little algorithms, they crack these. About 50% of passwords have now been cracked in some test sample using this kind of method, right? So the only way left to actually secure something is with a really, really long mix of random everything. So letters, numbers, punctuation. And if you don't know where to make one, I would suggest strongpasswordgenerator.com. Make it like 64 characters of complete nonsense. That is feasibly uncrackable.
I had to break, just as an aside here, the chat room's heart because 2 people volunteered to be my second wife. And that's not happening. But yeah, so I think passwords are just broken, and that trying to use them like this isn't going to work, and we need to implement more systems like two-factor authentication, because this is just going to keep happening again and again. It needs to be based... I think the new iPhone with the fingerprint scan is a worthy alternative, though there's obvious flaws there. But we need to think of something besides passwords, because if you can't remember it, if you need to write it down somewhere, it's useless. Because then once someone has access... What?
Retina scans. It's the
Retina
scans
flaws
could work.
in using just not a retina, a thumbprint or something, just to secure something. But if you had that as a two-factor with your password,
That's
that
what
would
I'm
be a lot
saying.
better, because you couldn't, even if they download a big password list and hashed every single combination ever, they would still need to compare that with the thumbprint as well.
I just think with passwords, it's such an arms race. You have to keep making crazier and crazier passwords, and the hackers are just going to come up with more and more clever ways to break them. That we need to get rid of passwords.
Hopefully, Apple are going to release like a thumbprint sensor as a like an addition to their trackpad or something. There you go. There's something good about Apple.
Yeah.
Drink.
So Tashi in the chat room is asking me what my password is. It's actually WordPass. It's a really clever mix-up there. I don't think anyone will ever guess that. So that's airtight. I don't really have to worry about this myself. Oh, and I changed the O in Word to a 0 for an extra.
I was just going to ask that if the A in pass is also the @ sign. So you have the symbol, the number, and one
No,
capital,
that's
and you're golden.
That's too hard to remember. I just did the O.
No.
Oh, just the O. Okay.
The methods, they account for that too. They do all different combinations of swapping out letters.
I know. No, there's nothing that can actually help other than like a truly random password. And that's why for the one account that matters, my Google account, I have two-factor authentication on. Because unless someone has my phone in their hand, they can't do it, right? And then there's ways you can intercept the phone signal and all that, I understand. No, perfect security is not possible, but two-factor helps a lot. If they need the password and my phone, that just makes it that much harder.
Yeah, the thing about passwords is it's never about like, oh, this is so secure, because it's only as secure, like you just need time. Like whenever they talk about, oh, we can crack this password in whatever 20 quadrillion years, like eventually computers are just going to get so good that what used to take 20 quadrillion years takes 20 seconds. Or you have a server farm of 8 million servers and it just takes like 30 seconds to crack anybody's password. Like it's not a matter of
or
having a secure password. It's time. Yeah, or a decent botnet, exactly.
Mm-hmm. And that's, I think every Russian kid at the age of 16 has access to their own botnet with 10,000 American computers. Like, I believe that's a rite of passage there that you're just given.
You only have to be better with a password than the majority of other people, though.
Yeah.
They're not going to spend infinite amounts of time trying to get every single password on the list.
Unless you have, like, a 3-letter Twitter account or something, yeah, pretty much. Yeah. People really want 3-letter Twitter accounts. They're rare.
I don't actually use Twitter. What's the big hype about that? I don't, like, what's the big hype about having a 3-letter one?
You want me to explain the big hype about Twitter? I mean,
no, not Twitter. The big hype about the 3-letter thing. I don't get that. Like, I know what Twitter is. I know what it does. What's so special about like the 3-letter thing?
Basically, all the 3-letter accounts were used up quickly, and if your account's only 3 letters, it's a lot easier to write a big message to you because only 4 characters are used up.
Oh,
it's more of a status thing, though, because they were all grabbed up pretty early.
Your name counts as part of the 140, then?
Yes, if someone's sending you
a message.
Messaging so having a short one's good. I've got a 5-character one. I think that's pretty good.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah. Don't follow James on Twitter, just a reminder, but you can follow me at JHPot or Dave at SideOx. Don't follow James. Don't.
At Wolfie
Verizon.
0.
Verizon
Just saying.
is refusing to replace landlines on a New Jersey island devastated by Sandy. The company instead put up a pseudo-wireless system that connects their landlines to like the phone line using wireless setups. But the problem is when the power goes out, the landlines won't work anymore, and for some reason people who just survived a hurricane are worried about this. Though, of course, the rest of the country doesn't care that much. I think 30% don't have landlines at all anymore. I don't know the stats there, but landline usage is definitely dropping. Is it going to die? Is it going to disappear forever? Dave,
Yes.
do you have a landline?
No.
Why not?
I don't know. It doesn't seem worth paying for.
Yeah.
But I actually, in my case, I don't really get very good cell phone service at my house, so I probably should have a landline. But I just use Google Talk to call people if I'm home.
Yeah. I have a
It's
Skype
great.
phone right here, and it's kind of my replacement for the landline.
But like, I think Comcast charged like $20 a month or something for a landline. I don't see the point of paying $20 a month for a landline. This doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you're right. That's a lot extra. And I think people who've always had a landline, they're not going to get rid of it because it's just something they're used to. It's an expense they're used to. But people in our age, people who have had cell phones while living at home or at college, and now move into their first own place for the first time, they're not gonna like a landline's just not gonna be on their radar as something I should be paying for. They'd rather get slightly faster internet with that $20, right?
If it was free, I would have a landline.
You have to have them in the UK if you want broadband, which is really sneaky because they'll tell you
Really?
like this, they'll advertise this really ridiculous price for broadband. They'll be like, 100 megasecond for £5 a month, and then there'll be a little star saying you need to pay £25 a month for a landline. And
That's
it's
still
like,
not so bad. £30. What's the conversion there?
but still, it's bloody cheeky because it's a complete lie. It's a way of fooling people into thinking their internet's cheap when it really isn't.
Yeah.
And the point
That's
is, you don't even
advertising, dog.
use the landline for internet anymore. It comes through the bloody fiber optic thing.
Yeah, when there was DSL, you used to have to have a landline for it to work because it
So
came.
that's
now
$50.
It's not true. It's just an add-in that you have to pay, and it's a bloody scam. Screw you, UK.
For anyone listening, 30 quid is 50 American bucks to
My
translate.
internet is 50 quid a month.
50 quid, yeah. I really like the word quid. That's a much cooler word for money. I think we should start adapting that here. What do you think, Alex?
I was just going to ask what the difference between a quid and a pound was because I've heard people say both. I'm not sure what the difference is.
But
I like quid better.
It's the equivalent of a dollar in buck.
Quid
It's
sounds like
we say
more.
buck instead of a dollar sometimes.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I like quid better.
So quid
That's
and
what I'm
pound
saying.
are the same
We
thing.
have buck, which kind of
Yes, same thing.
sounds stupid. Yeah, quid and pound, same thing. So anyways, there are certain advantages to having a landline, though. Notably, they still work when the power goes out, which during an emergency is super useful. But it seems like it's just too much expense for these companies to maintain this elaborate system of copper wires under the ground if no one wants to pay for them. So kind of sad, but progress, right? Yeah.
Sure.
Anyway, speaking of progress, cable companies are thinking of offering Netflix directly in their cable boxes. Does this mean online streaming and cable are finally burying the hatchet, learning to get along, and they're going to sing Kumbaya holding hands in a field somewhere in Pennsylvania? What do you think, James?
I have no idea how that would work.
You
You
don't?
mean like on your TiVo, they would have Netflix, kind of like they have YouTube now?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the cable box is a box that the cable company set up in your house, and then you get like a little interface for browsing stuff. Some of them are stupid.
Seems like a really crappy way of doing it.
Yeah, but it would be a very big deal for Netflix to get on there directly because people like us are perfectly capable of changing the channel to get our Xbox to turn on, but for some people this is a huge hassle. So being on the cable box would allow a whole different group of less tech-savvy people to use Netflix on their TV.
Well, I find
I wonder if they're just
YouTube
going to
on
start
my
sending out
TiVo.
like Rokus instead of cable boxes
Yeah.
because they can.
I mean, the
then they
Roku's
just
probably-
create an app for the TV, and then there you go.
Yeah.
But
But the Roku is still beyond the mental abilities of some
Oh, I guess
people.
you can't just push like channel up, channel down.
Yeah. It's
My dad would have no idea how to use it, so.
Sorry, I read the chat room for a bit, and Talking stopped. Anyways, could be interesting. We'll follow this one as it develops. Meanwhile, in Canada, the government may force cable providers to unbundle channels, meaning if you just want to pick different channels, you can. It's amazing if you have a government, apparently, and this is what I'm learning, they can do stuff. Dave?
No.
No,
Lies.
I don't believe that.
You don't believe that?
I don't believe
It's
this
been
at all.
so long, I can't remember what that's like. No, I saw this and I think it's cool, but I think to someone who is native to the internet, who has been watching TV primarily on the internet for the past 5 years, what's a channel? Why should I care about channels? James?
It's like on YouTube where
Yeah.
someone posts only a certain topic of video, I think.
Like a certain topic? Okay, so like let's say there was something called the History Channel. That channel would only broadcast really high quality documentaries that are vetted by
About
historians,
Hitler and
right?
stuff, yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Well, there wouldn't be any random shit about aliens on that channel. It would be logical and make sense. There would be a reason for me as a consumer to care about the History Channel.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait,
Cool.
does the History Channel really post weird stuff about aliens?
Yeah, their biggest show is called
Really?
Ancient Aliens, where they look at something from history, like the pyramids, and they're like, well, there's no way humans could have built that. It must be aliens.
I love Ancient Alien.
That show's a load of crap, Dave.
It's
Is that some kind of
awesome.
politically motivated thing? I don't get it. Like, history to me is history. It's not, let's interpret this in a...
No, but this is the point I was trying to ironically get at, is these channels have all devolved so much. Like, the Learning Channel changed its name to TLC because their biggest show is Honey Boo Boo, and they're just like, well, we can't pretend to be a learning channel anymore. So now they're just TLC, and that doesn't officially stand for anything.
What's
'Cause-
Honey Boo Boo?
You don't want to know. You know what?
You don't wanna
Again,
know.
don't Google it. Just don't.
Honey Boo Boo, Siri, and...
No. Don't. I told you not to Google it. What are you doing? You were one of the few, the lucky, the ones who didn't know. You will now never be able to return to the pre-Honey Boo Boo state you're in.
That'll pretty much ruin
glad
your
I don't
life.
get all these stupid cable channels.
Channels do exist on YouTube, but they're totally different. They upload a certain amount of content. They're really more equivalent to a show than a channel. I guess you've got some like Geek and Sundry that have 5 different shows on the same channel, but for the most part, it's more like a show than a channel in the sense. It doesn't broadcast content 24 hours a day the way you want Technophilia to do, which I would get tired if we did that, unless you want to watch the Justin Sleeps, well, sleep talking about technology show, but I just don't think that would be very good.
I think unless government forces it, this is never going to happen naturally. There's too many people who just don't care enough to make it happen.
Yeah.
It's
But
only
it
people
looks-
like us that actually want to do this.
Well, no. The Conservative Party in Canada is pursuing this with some fury, so maybe it will happen there.
Didn't we talk about this on the show? Like, if you could just buy HBO, people would, or just buy a show, people would do that. And it's
Yeah.
like, if you bundle all the channels together, like, if I just want the History Channel, I don't need the Disney Channel and all this and yada yada. It's like, I just want the History Channel. If I can pay less for that, I might have cable. Personally, I don't watch TV. I mean, anything I want to see, I can find somewhere on the internet, YouTube, whatever, Netflix. So I don't watch TV, but I mean, if I could just buy like the History Channel and the Discovery Channel and not have to pay like $90 a month, I think I might be more inclined to watch TV. Probably not still, but I know other people that would probably get cable if it was way
it's
cheaper and
the
they could
same
just buy
thing.
like 2 or
So
3 channels.
I use NHL Game Center to watch hockey games. I know too much hockey on the show, James, but this is a technical thing. But I would maybe get cable to watch it there if I could just get the channels that show the games, right? Because I don't really care about live TV for anything but sports. I mean, anything else you can watch a year later and it's more or less the same, but sports you kind of want to watch when it's happening, So if I could just buy NBC Sportsnet and Altitude, which is the one that has the games here, I totally would. And then I'd be able to watch every game on TV and watch the rest on Game Center perfectly within the law. But I can't do that. If I want Altitude, I have to buy like the Tier 3 package or something, and it's like $50, $60 a month right there. So, not
Did
not
you
not
pay for
going to do
Game
that.
Center again this year?
I did.
It's expensive.
You know what? If you have Tunneler enabled, it's $50 cheaper. Shh. Because they think you're in Europe. They have a different European price.
They charged me automatically
Yeah, that kind of sucks that they do that.
It was not the whole thing. It was like a fourth of it or something, and I canceled it because I didn't want it again. Because now it was only cheap last year. So
Yeah, but it's still not a bad price.
This
It's
is
Technophilia broadcast
Is
on
Honey
TV.
Boo Boo
Yeah,
a real like little girl, or is this like a midget or what?
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 I
Honey Boo Boo. He's talking about Honey Boo Boo.
Oh no! Stop looking up Honey Boo Boo.
Dude, this is terrifying.
No, stop.
I don't understand what she is. Is she? I don't understand.
She's like a little stupid redneck kid.
She's a kid, right?
No, we're not talking about this anymore. Done.
Okay, sorry.
In the chat room, someone's asking if Technophilia is broadcast on TV. Yes, if you watch your local PBS affiliate between the hours of 4 and 4:30, you might catch a glimpse. Is a fact I just made up. But I recommend you try anyways. And someone else, Div Ponce, is saying, can I compliment Alex on his waistcoat? He is almost as handsome as Dave. So, there you go.
But they can't see Alex.
They can see his little icon.
No, it's just my profile picture that they can see. And I said thank you back.
Yeah, so.
That was actually
taken
taken here a couple of days ago, or a week ago, or someone else.
As useless as the U.S. government is a title suggestion, I will take that into account. You can use Internet Explorer because it has Do Not Track for your privacy. Brackets, we've developed new ways to track you anyways. James, what's going on here?
Yeah, I love the way Microsoft is really touting this new Do Not Track thing to protect the evils of your privacy, and then at the same time they're developing an entirely new method of tracking consumers across all of their Microsoft devices.
Yeah.
Good going there, Microsoft. That's really kind of you.
Well, they're nothing if not consistent with their messaging and branding.
Yeah. It's a replacement for cookies because cookies are evil in people's minds now.
Why are cookies evil? That's like the fundamental building block of much of the web, isn't it?
I was going to say, it'd be hard to make a website without cookies.
I get why people thought they were evil in the late 90s because they weren't used to the idea of like TV tracking them. But, I mean, now cookies are pretty much just normal, aren't they? At least they're not installing software.
We use cookies on every single website. Even like if you log into a website or you click like a like button or something on a website, like you have to have some kind of cookie somewhere to remember that.
Yep. Well, I agree, but in people's minds, cookies are evil. They are trackers that track everywhere you go on the webs. This is still a very early plans. It's going to be some kind of like device identifier that well, you won't be able to block it basically.
Yeah.
So you know, it's always good when people try and break the way the internet works because then it develops.
I understand you can unblock it by installing something called Ubuntu. I don't know. We can talk about that more later. So we talked about Twitter manipulating the market last week a little bit. There was an accidental one this week. A misread tweet caused oil prices to spike. Investors thought a commemoration of the Yom Kippur War was talking about a contemporary Soviet invasion of Syria. So apparently some stock people saw that and were like, oh shit, oil's going to go up, and bought oil up like crazy, thinking that someone was invading, the Soviets were invading Syria. So yeah, good job, Twitter. You've really raised the level of intelligent stock trading.
Oh, this is why I hate Twitter. Everyone puts so much emphasis on it like it's unbelievable.
It's one data.
It's even weird. It's even weirder when you don't use it because you hear people talking about things that happen on it, and it's like, why would you even listen to that? Like from an outside perspective, it's like, okay, so let's see how credible is Twitter, and people are posting about oil on it, so you're gonna buy stock. Okay.
No one it was just the Israeli government put a commemoration of this war up, and everyone was like, oh shit, Israel says that Syria is being invaded by the Soviets. I should buy oil. So it's
like
not
some
even
moron spray painting a message on the side of the bridge, and everyone taking it to be the new Bible word of God. It's like, no, it's stupid. No one cares.
It's not some moron. It's the Israeli government spray painting something on a bridge.
Oh well, if it's the government spray painting it, then
that's what I'm saying. That
no,
makes
it's
it
not. No.
Yeah. Well, it's not like I could affect the cost of oil. Right?
Do you want to test that theory? I'm sure we could. That would make for a good article, I feel. How I affected the world's global oil price by tweeting.
So I was just reading, Ira Glass, the host of This American Life, has a book out called The New Kings of Nonfiction. And the first story is, let me look this up. Anyway, it's about a guy who in the late 90s, he was 14 years old, he really got into stocks, and he just started buying penny stocks. Going onto Yahoo Finance was a big deal then, and just saying, yeah, man, this stock's going to go up a lot. You should buy it. And then people would, and he made $800,000 in like a year doing this. So like this isn't necessarily exclusive to Twitter. This has always happened. And if you watch CNBC, all it is people trying to make stock prices go up and down by saying that they will go up or down. Like this is just the nature of the market. That's all. Fair. It's not like Twitter's some new magical thing here.
Twitter's made it easier for them, though.
Yep. Though, to be honest, Yahoo Finance wasn't exactly tricky to figure out. Anyways, let's move on to a long-running segment that we've ditched because we're lazy, but Alex is here to bring it back. It's what you've been using. Alex, I think we're going to start with Google Chromecast.
Wait. We didn't ditch it because we're lazy. We ditched it because we talked about everything we use, and we don't use that much.
Yeah, that's really
Let's be honest.
Yeah, so if we bring in fresh people, they're using different things than
They've
we
got
are.
stuff
Alex,
to talk about.
Alex is using Chromecast. So how do you like it so far, man?
I was actually hesitant to buy it. I was like, well, what am I going to use this for? But I bought it, and it was like, it's only $35. I was like, whatever, I'll buy one. So I bought one. I plugged it in my TV. Not even, like, literally a minute and a half later, I was watching YouTube videos on my TV from my tablet, and I was just like, this is the most amazing thing ever. Like, you plug it in, and it says, hey, download this app, and so I download the app, install, what's your Wi-Fi password? Okay, and then I opened the YouTube app, pressed play, it said, hey, do you want to play this on your Chromecast? I'm like, sure. And it just started playing on my TV. Like, I never thought that I would use it until I had it, and then I'm like, wow, now instead of watching, like, I can even do it from my phone or anything. I'm like, oh, my phone's a tiny little screen, but, you know, I'm sitting in the same room as a TV. I'll just watch YouTube on the TV. So it's...
I have something like this. I have XBMC, and I can, from the YouTube app, hit share and send it to there. But this is a little different because it sounds like it's fewer taps, and that might make it worth it alone. Because it just
the fewer taps.
Yeah, just the fewer taps is worth $35.
For Android.
I have to press one less button, so that's worth my $35.
Yeah. Totally.
As long as you watch enough content, you'll save up enough hours that like you could have been watching more YouTube video for that many hours and writing news articles about it, so it would pay for itself.
There you go.
Is this common that you sit in the living room watching YouTube videos on your tablet or something?
I have a TV in my bedroom, so I just watch it on the TV in my bedroom.
Okay.
I enjoy watching YouTube videos on my TV more than on my screen.
You know, we just put a review.
I never would have thought about it until I actually bought the Chromecast, and I'm just like, wow, this is... I don't know. It streams in higher definition, I guess, than on my phone. So like it looks better, and then I play it through my stereo, and it just sounds better. So it's like it looks better and sounds better.
Use it for YouTube, or it has Netflix?
I also use Netflix. Yes.
Yeah.
One of the reasons that I thought that after I bought it, I was glad that I did is because I use all Linux, and I don't know if our users use Linux, but you can't. There's no Netflix app for Linux. But I have Android phones, and they have Netflix on them. There's
a really elaborate solution now that uses Wine, but it like works in your native browser. It's called SteamPipe, I think, or StreamPipe. That's it. Have you looked into that?
I actually haven't looked into that, but I heard they were porting Netflix to HTML5, so eventually it's gonna just happen. But now with this Chromecast, I can watch it. I used to watch it on my Xbox, but I don't play many Xbox games. Like I played Modern Warfare or whatever for a while, or Call of Duty, whatever. Okay. And I played that for a while. But besides that, like I don't have a need to have Xbox Live. And you have to have Xbox Live in order to watch Netflix, which doesn't make sense to me.
Isn't that ridiculous?
When I got this,
you can't use your internet connection unless you pay us for the privilege.
Exactly. Yeah. So I got the Chromecast, and now I can watch Netflix, YouTube, whatever. Netflix especially is what I would use it for. I do watch YouTube, like I watch whatever, a couple shows, channels I subscribe to, but I definitely Netflix is a big thing that like it totally made it worth my $35 because now I don't have to pay Xbox or even have an Xbox just to watch Netflix.
That's true. That's a good saving there. So yeah, Chromecast, it's still $35, and for a while it came with 2 months of free Netflix, so that almost paid for most of it. But that deal's gone because too many people bought them.
I think they're on back order still.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
But for $35, you can't go wrong. It's just a little. It looks like a USB stick, right? And you plug it into the HDMI port, and then it needs a power supply, and that's it.
I think the newer HDMI ports, you don't need the power cord for it. But so if you have a brand new smart TV, which if you have a smart TV, you probably have a Netflix app anyway. But it'll just plug in and it just works. My TV's a little bit older. It was when they were first coming out with HDMI. So I just
acts as
need
a
a power
remote.
cord.
You browse stuff on the tablet, send it to the Chromecast. So it's a really simple model.
And you can push pause on your tablet and it pauses it on the TV.
Google has promised that more video apps will be supported over time. How does it connect to the internet? I guess it's just Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you have to connect it to your Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And then I guess you just
no
broadcast
internet
to
sticking out the back of this thing, really?
No.
Nice. Well,
we have a giveaway on the site for a Chromecast right now. It went up yesterday.
I was gonna say, yeah, I noticed you guys had a giveaway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you can sign up at makeuseof.com for a giveaway of a Chromecast. So do that, if nothing else. That takes no effort on your part at all.
And then you can win, even though it's only like $30.
As of tomorrow, the latest version of Ubuntu will be out. Alex, I'm assuming you've been using this for a while now.
I actually haven't used the beta. I use Linux at my work, so I use the long-term support edition, and on my laptop, so I just haven't had a lot of time recently. But I just wanted to throw in the show notes that tomorrow's a new release. I'm not sure what all comes with it. I heard.
Is there anything new in this at all? Because I still follow the Linux blogs, even though I don't use Linux as much as I used to, and I have Ubuntu installed on my MacBook, and I boot into it every now and again just because I like it and because the game Fez works in it and doesn't in the Mac partition. So I use Ubuntu primarily for gaming, ironically enough. But I just can't figure out what's new in this version. Like
they were supposed to. This was supposed to be like a landmark version because they were supposed to release the Mir engine, which is like the display manager, instead of using the display server, instead of using X, which is a really old technology. It still works and it's still fine, but Ubuntu, I guess, with their Unity interface, they wanted to have more control over things, so they were going to release Mir in this, but they actually held it back, I guess, because it wasn't. Not that it wasn't working; they have it working, but it wasn't ready.
From a user's point of view, is techno jargon. It doesn't mean a thing.
Yeah, not a thing. But so in this, I guess in this release, there's just the standard stuff. New icons. They probably made the user interface a little bit faster. They'll
probably have a slightly different wallpaper that is still like an abstract purple thing. Like I don't know.
I think you just blur it every time.
They just blur it a little more every time.
Just add a blur effect, yeah.
I hate to sound disillusioned, but at some point around 2009, all of the developers who were working on open source projects noticed if they made an iOS or an Android app, they could like get paid for it. And nothing exciting is happening in the Linux world anymore, really. I mean, I used to write at least one Linux article a week because there was just new, interesting stuff coming out regularly. And I got to say, as a tech writer who started my career primarily writing about Linux, it's pretty rare I can find something I think readers will find interesting.
Maybe that's because Linux is just so perfect now. There's just nothing more to work on. It's just done. Finished.
That's probably it, James. You're probably right. Yeah.
We're gonna freeze the.
I actually thought that a while ago. That like when I first started using Linux, like way back in the day, it was like everything was like, oh my goodness, look at this, we figured out how to do this thing. It's so awesome, and I was just like, that's cool. But other computers could already do it. But Linux now did it, and I think now Linux does everything. Or not necessarily everything, but it does a lot of stuff that normal computers do. So it's like, we'll be like, hey, we got this new little thing, it's faster. And you're just like, well, I mean, it already did that, but it's faster now, I guess.
Well, and the app development's just not there. I go through the Mac App Store, and I can find silly apps that do things like add captions to pictures, like single-purpose apps like that. People are making them.
Yeah.
You know, like no one is... There used to be a vibrant ecosystem of new applications coming up for Linux all the time, and I just think those developers have found other pastures. I think Linux, as a desktop operating system, missed its moment. I hate saying it. I love Linux, but I think it missed its moment, which is why Ubuntu's attempts to break into this consolidated computing thing, it could be good, but I think just like... If Microsoft couldn't pull off the smartphone thing, I'm pretty skeptical that Canonical's going to do it.
I think you're giving Microsoft a little too much credit there, though.
That's true. Well, and I mean, they have way more money to throw at this than everyone else. I'm being told.
I mean, if you want to get super technical, Android is Linux, so we're already in the Linux is already in the Android market or Android
you're
phone
right.
space.
But none of the
But
apps are open source.
as far as like a Linux distro being ported to a phone,
Mhm.
I don't see users don't know what it is, and so that's why I think it's not making a huge breakthrough.
Yeah, I just don't see it happening. I think developers have moved on. I mean, this is the same problem Windows. I know I'm giving Microsoft too much credit, but Microsoft built a great phone operating system, but it's too late. Like they could make the best phone operating system in the world at this point, and some argue that they have, but it doesn't matter because all the apps are already on Android and iOS. It's just they're too late.
So now anybody else that tries to come into the market is just playing catch up.
Yeah, I mean BlackBerry dominated the smartphone market for a long time, and they're pitiful. They can't because they neglected the app development, and that was Microsoft Windows advantage in the 90s. All the programs were on it, you know. So if you miss that boat, it's pretty hard to catch up. So I'm not so sure, but Scudderman in the comments is pointing out that Steam will have more Linux games, and he expects Windows license sales will drop because of this. You know what? Steam and gaming, ironically, if you followed Linux 5 years ago, gaming seems to be the brightest spot in the Linux ecosystem right now. There's a lot of positive developments there, mostly centered around Steam, that could make Linux relevant again. We'll see. SteamOS is something exciting to watch, but
SteamOS.
SteamOS.
Yeah, I think
what do we
the
got next
gaming
year,
is pretty
Alex?
much
What's
the
this?
newest stuff that came into the Linux stuff. Was the gaming stuff. The other stuff I have there, it was supposed to be news. I don't know why it got moved into the what you've been using
whatever,
title.
we can keep it as news. I guess it should have got
So
shuffled.
now we're.
I will do. How's this? I will do my what you've been using segment. Talk about this a little bit.
That sounds awesome.
I really like hockey, and it's James's favorite thing when I talk about it. But no, but it's really hard to find a good way to keep track of the scores in a way that's simple without like going to a website or downloading an app. So I found two ways to get scores and just scores, nothing else, pretty simply. The first is a series of Twitter accounts you can find at reallysimplescores.com, and all that happens is you follow the teams you like or the leagues you like. So I followed the Maple Leafs, for example, and now after every game, there's a tweet in my timeline that says, "Did the Maple Leafs win? Yes, they beat Minnesota 4-1." So that's pretty cool, and you can find every league in North America for that. But what I'm really excited about is an RSS feed. I found a post at XDA Developers, and there's a bunch of PHP scripts. And if you have a server, unfortunately, there's no like just link to the RSS I can give you. But if you have a server, you can drag these PHP files to them, and if you link to them directly, they will act as an RSS feed. It grabs, if you can read the code, it's not that complicated. They grab the scores from the file ESPN uses to put out scores. So if you want to test this Technophilia, actually, you can go to justinpot.com/nhl.php. And see how it works right now. Don't spread that around. Don't like paste it anywhere because I don't want my server to go down. But yeah, so I was pretty excited about the RSS thing. Now on XBMC I have the scores ticking across the bottom of the screen. So that was my geek project. You are so bored right now.
I am. I've given up. I've gone to reading my emails.
You know, yes, it's about sports, but it's also about using a PHP file to create an RSS feed by scraping data from a publicly accessible file.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. So I thought you'd be interested in that level, but you're just like, nope, hockey, not listening. Okay,
No,
whatever.
Turned off.
Let's
James
go
hates everything.
back to the news briefly, but I do have parents in the other room I would like to hang out with, so let's move this along quickly. German scientists have achieved a record 100 gigabytes per second. What would you even use that for? I mean, no one needs that much porn.
What?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. And it's actually a very obscure way. Like they use lasers and some like photon paper, and then transmit it into like a wireless signal. So it's not really for residential use. They just want to say like, hey, this is a record we broke. And I think it's only in like line of sight that you can use this. I'm not sure if you can do it through walls or. Because when you get into the like higher frequencies, it's a very small wave, and going through walls, like it has to be like a directional thing. I mean, they can transfer 100 gigabytes a second of porn, but it's not really useful. It's not really practical for a home use, but they've gotten there, and they said now their goal is a terabyte.
Despite England's insistence to the otherwise, like I said before, they are in Europe, meaning that there does need to be a cable under the sea to connect our internet connection with theirs. So right now, as I say this, my voice is being shot through a cable under the sea. That's not all that fast of a cable. Could something like this be used for that, or would it be too delicate to have that kind of infrastructure down there?
No, the cables will always be faster than a wireless link.
You think so?
I know so. It would
Well, I
be
guess
if
physically impossible
they lay
otherwise.
fiber down, I know fiber is faster than 100 gigabytes a second, but I think it's faster than 100 gigabytes a second, but I think this would be maybe more useful for like skyscrapers if you want to communicate between two office buildings or something. Like it might have like some kind of corporate use, but not necessarily a. Because then you wouldn't like if you're in a city.
You could have a string
No,
and
he's right.
start
That's
on
what
top,
these
so it
line of
works just
sight
fine.
things are used for. You use it as a wireless bridge, basically, between
Yeah.
two sites.
That could be cool.
When you wouldn't run a huge cable between the buildings, for instance.
Yeah. Yeah, we set up something similar to that. 2 sites, yeah. That could
Speaking
work.
of porn, what would Ultra HD porn require in terms of gigabytes per second?
I think I
Genuine
imagine
question.
it would be similar to any other video.
Okay, well, what does a 4K video require?
I was just gonna ask that. I know they have 4K TVs now. I wonder what how much speed you need for that.
Yeah.
4K streaming video. Yes, this is riveting radio. Right, you should probably finish up the show.
Yeah, I should probably finish the show at some point. Let's move to the next story. MIT's Kinect of the future can see you through walls. Where do I get one? I want Microsoft to do
Right now they're still in development, but they what they're doing is it uses like radio waves, and radio waves bounce off of human skin in a unique way.
Mhm.
So they use like triangulation. They have 3 antennas, and they use triangulation, and they can figure out where the radio waves are bouncing off of and know that that's like a human. So they can track you to within like 10 centimeters.
We
Which
talked
This
about
is
this about
terrifying.
50 episodes ago.
Did you?
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Alex, you should listen to Technophilia. And you know what?
I
Apparently-
should.
This is very old news. If you
This was just on Gizmodo, so I mean, I just read about it yesterday or 2
Oh,
days ago,
wow.
whatever.
no, it's very impressive if you watch the video of what they're able to do.
How
Like,
does it
literally
track
see
through
around
walls? Is it infrared or something? Or
What'd you say?
is it infrared or something? How is it tracking you through walls? What's
It sends radio waves through the walls, and like I said, the way that they bounce off of your skin, it can like tell that there's an interference there, and it'll know that you're there based on the
Mhm.
radio waves, something like that. So they use like kind of like a triangulation method, but
Okay.
you don't. The radio antennas don't actually have to be around you. They can be, I guess it's kind of like sonar almost, but with radio
Okay.
waves instead of actual sound.
Maybe this is
It
different.
seemed
The
pretty
one I
cool, and
remember, they were
it's
actually, like,
very accurate.
super sensitive on photons and things, so they would bounce a tiny bit of light around the corner and then read what bounced back, and that would give you a 3D image of something around the corner.
pretty awesome. Well, as I've been saying, I do have guests here today I would like to get back to, but I would like to thank everyone who joined us in the live show for doing so. Chat room, you're awesome. But if you're listening audio style, that's cool too. We love you guys just as much, even though we don't talk to you directly. But if you do listen to the audio and you want a chance to connect with us directly, you can do so. You can go to facebook.com/Technophilia podcast, hit the like button to get updates throughout the week. Dave put an adorable picture of a Chinese red panda on it just last week, and it changed my life and worldview. You can also follow us at the Technophilia on Twitter. Alex, you don't have to. That's not mandatory. But if you send us a message, we will retweet it. That is the Technophilia guarantee, unless it's like stupid or spam or something. And we want to get a conversation going between technophiliacs, so that's how we use Twitter to do that. You can also subscribe to the podcast at makeuseof.tv. There you will find an RSS and an iTunes link. There will be other shows at makeuseof.tv. Later, we're developing them. If you like the show and you want to do us a favor, leave a review on iTunes or Miro or whatever you use to find podcasts. It helps us more than you know. It gets us to other people. And it would be great if more of our reviews weren't staff members pretending to be people. Anyways, thanks so much for listening, everyone. As I said, my name's Justin Pott. Alex, thank you so much for joining us this week. It's been a real blast. Some other time, maybe?
Yeah, sometime. Yeah, I'd definitely be able to do this again.
Cool. Well, I hope you enjoy your lunch break if your boss still lets you have one. But otherwise, get back to work. James, Dave, same time next week?
Meh.
If I have to.
Okay, fine. You promised you'd talk at some point, Dave, and that never came through.
You ended the what you.
Oh, well, you didn't have it in the outline. Okay, well, maybe that can happen in the after show. I myself am leaving.
Yeah, we can do it next week.
What about
you
the
guys?
art?
Oh, this is why I emailed you yesterday. I need you guys to do the art.
Yeah, Dave, do it.
I don't
Dave
even
can
have Photoshop.
Use
Alex,
GIMP.
do it.
Alex
I don't
can
have
do
GIMP.
it. He's got the GIMP. Sudo apt-get install GIMP.
What?
Does that work on a Mac?
What? Yeah, no, I was going to say, I was waiting for Dave to say, what is that?
I have a personal computer with Microsoft Windows operating system installed on it.
You can use
Well,
MS Paint.
You can still get GIMP.
You can get
I
GIMP.
could, but I don't want to.
Well, then someone has to make the art. I'm not doing it.
James, you're the artist.
Nope.
I have a crazy idea. How about we use the default logo?
What?
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 It's the worst idea I've ever heard. You should.
Yeah, that's obviously not going to work. I'm going to let you guys figure it all out yourselves. Thanks for a great show, everyone. Chat room, you're awesome. See you guys next week. Bye.
Oh, he's gone, man. Right.
I
Well,
hate
I'm
that,
not making
Justin.
the art live, so everyone in the chat room can just sod off. Basically.
Well, you don't have to make it live. You just have to make it.
I know what I'll do. I'll do image not found. Perfect.
That's good, actually. But what about a title?
Yeah, we need a title.
They suggested some titles in the chat room. Let's see.
What have we got?
Can Siri fix Syria? We didn't really actually ask Siri if she could fix Syria.
She probably wouldn't know what I'm saying.
Oh, the one that Justin had mentioned was as useless as the U.S. government. And I think that's about it for the title suggestions.
Oh, yeah. I can't tell if you're all dead or if they're just not saying anything.
I'm here.
I'm sure this.
All right, guys. Well, I got to get back to work. It was fun hanging out with you guys, all right?
Have fun at work, my friend.
Definitely, definitely. All right, bye.
See you.
Bye. Right. I've got the art. Still need a title, huh?
What?
Title.
What?
I'll make the art if you figure out the title. That's fair.
What?
Yep. That's fair, dude.
What?
Figure it out.
What?
Figure out the damn title.
What?
I still haven't completed GTA.
What?
Oh, you suck.
What? Huh?
That doesn't work. It needs to be white.
Huh?
Hey, can anyone remember the name of the font we were using?
No?
Dave, do something interesting for the listeners or I'm going to end this.
Listeners, why are you all so stupid? I don't know. You're a bunch of bitches and I hate you so very much.
I think we should probably end it on that.
I want to stab you in your eyes. I want to kill you all and make you poop your panties. How was that? Did I do a good job with keeping them entertained?
Not really.
I didn't. I thought I had it under control.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, listeners.
And we're gone.